Hello everyone, I'm Brazen Eagle and thank you for joining me here. So today, we have an article from studyfinds.org that blames men, of course, for not being marriage material. So, why are marriage rates down? Study blames lack of economically attractive men. From Ithaca, New York. Marriage rates have steadily declined over the past few decades, and now researchers from Cornell University are offering up a possible explanation. There just aren't as many economically attractive men for unmarried women to meet as there used to be. Previous studies had attempted to answer why marriage rates are on the decline, but most focused solely on sex ratio discrepancies as opposed to looking into the specific socio-economic characteristics that make a particular man and woman a good match. First, the study's authors examined data collected on recent marriages between 2007 to 2012 and 2013 to 2017, gathered as part of the American Community Survey's cumulative 5-year marriage statistics. That data was used to estimate the financial and socio-demographic characteristics of unmarried women's potential husbands by creating economic profiles that resembled real husbands who had married couples or who had married comparable women. These potential husbands' estimates were then compared to actual population data on unmarried men across the national, state, and local locations. Researchers found that these estimated potential dream husbands had an average income about 58% higher than the actual unmarried men currently available to unmarried women. These synthetic husbands were also 30% more likely to be employed than real single men and 19% more likely to have a college degree. It was also observed that many racial and ethnic minorities, specifically African American women, seem to be dealing with especially low numbers of economically attractive potential mates. Additionally, women on both the low end and high end of the socioeconomic spectrum face a harder time finding an economically compatible mate. Most American women hope to marry, but current shortages of marriageable men with a stable job and a good income, make this increasingly difficult, especially in the current gig economy of unstable, low-paying service jobs, explains lead author Dr. Daniel T. Lichter of Cornell University in a media release. It sounds like women only want money. Marriage is still based on love, which it never was, but it is also fundamentally an economic transaction. Boy, you betcha. Many young men today have little to bring to the marriage bargain, especially as young women's educational levels on average now exceed their male suitors. Well, I would argue that just because you have an education doesn't mean you're smarter or better. So, besides, which I'll ask later anyways, but it's not like women have anything to offer men either in a relationship. But, this was a very short article, but, it's not very surprising. Studies or people try to blame men for pretty much everything, even unless it's for success. If it's for success, they won't blame men or attribute it to men. But anyways, this article, it just comes down to the fact that women want a husband that makes a lot of money compared to themselves. Females in general also want a husband who is employed to make money and probably also have a college degree. This sounds absolutely normal and expected. This isn't controversial at all. Now, it sounds like women want someone who is on at least an equal footing with themselves, but would rather take a partner that is better than themselves. Women are fine with men getting at least a bachelor's degree, but females, they do not want a supposed less educated partner than themselves, no matter how worthless a college degree might actually be. Now, like I said, women see education as a status symbol, no matter how worthless the degree is. If you did not go to college and get a degree, then women will see that as a negative attribute to the overall attractiveness of a potential long-term partner. It's all about money, power, and status/prestige. Those three things. Now, regardless of race and ethnicity, all women are supposedly having a harder time to find an economically compatible mate. That just means that women are gold diggers. They just want to leech off a more financially well-off male. They don't want that poor janitor or that fast food employee or even fast food manager. They don't want those. But, like I've said before, marriageable men are those who women look up to. But men have been slowly handicapped over time, which has resulted in men making up less and less of the labor force, unfortunately. Which, of course, then makes it more and more difficult for women to find marriageable men. As, society decided to tear men down to equalize men and women, fewer men can find work. Just look at this chart from BLS, or the Bureau of Labor Statistics, from 2007. It was about 86.4% of men were in the labor force in 1950. In 2018, from Wikipedia actually, which actually I'll blow up the graph on the right here to here, the blue line is men, the black line is men and women combined, the overall total labor force participation rate, and the pink line, of course, is female. The labor force participation rate for men in 2016, which I think is even lower now in 2019, but per this graph, it was about 68 to 69-ish%. That's almost a drop of 20% from 86.4 to about 68. Not quite 20, but getting close. And you know what? This drop is only expected to get worse. Men need work. And to also not be discriminated in jobs against them because men were born with an outie instead of an innie. There's not really much you can do about biological attributes, we'll say. Now, society has got it all screwed up by trying to elevate women to make them equal to men, the chase for equality. Society only tore men down to the same level. They could never bring women up as great as men, but they had to tear men down, and this is having a drastic consequence, or consequences, for our civilization. Now, marriage doesn't always imply, but usually means that you're going to have children. Not always, but usually. But do you want to see more children, or at least to have a higher native birth rate? Do you want men to have higher paying jobs in which men will be able to take care of women, not just financially, but emotionally and physically? Then the solution is relatively easy. But, of course, socially unacceptable, at least in the current year. All you have to do is the thing that will get me kicked from YouTube. Just take their rights away. Wages in general will go up if you do this. You will have a higher native birth rate. Women will actually become happier in their current circumstances because over time, women have just become more and more unhappy as they've done more and more supposed work. And you will greatly reduce the number of people going to college and taking out student loans. Now, I want to finish this article, well, almost finish this article, with the idea that marriage is based on love, or still based on love. It was never based on love. Are you kidding me? Marriage was for survival and a transfer of resources from one group or one family to another. Heck, I mean, back in the medieval Renaissance, maybe even Baroque era of Europe, marriages between royal families was a way to secure alliances between nations and groups and countries and little states. The idea that marriage is about love has helped destroy many marriages. You don't get into marriage because you're in love. It's about survival and transferring resources. Now, this article says that many young men bring little to the marriage table, but, like I said earlier, fails to recognize that women offer even less than men. Men don't care about how much money a woman makes in her career. That doesn't make her more attractive. Men don't care about how educated a woman is. Men don't want someone like a woman to have like a very low IQ, but maybe to at least graduate high school. This saying that women want a want an educated partner and to make a lot of money. It's just pure projection from women as to what they want out of a man. But you know what? Like I've said before, all you need to know about what women want in a potential long-term partner is money, power, and status or prestige. Those three things. But with that in mind, thank you very much. I'm Brazen Eagle, and I hope you have a great day.